Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of Cyberbrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With Cyberbrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at Cyberbrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Explore how CyberArk, an effective privileged access control management solution, protects critical data and systems from potential threats.
PTA Privilege Direct Analysis. There are the main features. The Privileged Direct Analysis is the main feature. One is alert, detect, collect, respond. How it will alert? Notify the security statements with a detailed event information. This is what happened. Please have a look like that. And the detect, rapidly identify and detect the suspicious activities. Then it will work and it will start doing the. Based on that, it will allocate the risk, the scores, and the collect. Could quickly manage, quickly gather and analyze the most critical data and respond. What will happen? Respond. Enable the speedy response hand automated containment here. These are the features for the PTA. One is alert, detect, collect and respond. These are the main features. Collect the subrack privileged direct analytics colors data from the wide variety of the sources. Different sources. It will collect the data. Here you can see the collect and analyze the right data. It will collect data from the collect and analyze data from the critical external components. External components is from the Active Directory, Windows Cloud and the same solutions, some other target systems. It will collect the data. You can see this same solution and Active Directory and Windows and Cloud. The content, that is, can analyze the privileged user activities. Some of the detections, it will find this report. Those are the mainly which we are going to discuss: suspected credentials, how it will find, and what are these. Collect, and it contains the risk and analyze the privileged user activities, always monitoring this and alert and remediate on suspicious activities. If you feel any suspicious activity, it will automatically detect and it will remediate some score and will give you the notification for us. And detect and block the threads on the endpoint here. The real-time analytics powered by the propriety of some algorithm data and all of the other activity here. Attacks that bypass security controls, statistical analysis and Active Directory risk. Here you can see this. The abuser bypass of the PAM control here majorly. The PTA continuously monitors the use of privilege records that are managed by this HyperArk. Basically, whatever the recordings which is happening through PSM after this, PTA will work. PTA will identify that, it will be able to monitor that, and it will identify and respond back. This is using because there are some suspicious activities is going on. Because, separate example, if you are the user, you are using one account instead of some other account. If you are using some different hours, you are locked into the user. Because some non-business hours, you're locked into the user. It will detect this guy is locked into the wall on hours. Those are the non-business hours. Like that, different solutions. Are they different? Different. Now it will detect us immediately. This user has been locked in on time. It feels suspicious. And if he has opened the configuration files and he's trying to edit something else, it may feel. This is the suspicious activity. Some malicious activity is going on like that. It will detect and identify and give us the notification on that session will suspend immediately. That is how it will work here. Majorly the PTA is continuously monitors the use of the privileged accounts that are managed by the cyber, as well as privileged accounts that are not at managed, and looks for the indications of abuse or misuse of the cyber platform. Some of the privileged accounts which is not using by these private cyber. Those also the maze. The measures sub such abuse or bypasses include unmanageable privileged access and suspected credential depth and suspects. These are the features: suspicious password change and suspicious activities detected in the privileged session. These are the main features because suspicious password change means because we are connecting one policy. If you are, we have a setup on policy. That policy should be changed for the 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. But unexpectedly, for 1 or 2 times this time. But it is continuously changing the password or one-time passwords, also one-time policy. I remember everyone. In the one-time policy, we used to keep it as a 60 minutes. 61 hour for the one-time passwords, more than that. It is after that it should change the password. But before we have tried to change for that password, these are the, it may feel some suspicious activities is going on, they will think it, and unmanageable privilege. Whatever the manner not managed by the CPU, those comes under the unmanaged privilege. Suspected credential that it may fail if you are not giving any reason, but you are trying to copy the credentials. If you are not providing the justification of the business, but you are getting the copy, you are going to copy the credentials and trying to get it. It may feel it is a credential that someone is working on it because that guy doesn't know what reason which we need to do. And suspicious activities detected in the privilege session. It may feel if you are open the configuration files and you are trying to do something else. But it feels like the suspicious activities detected and statistical anonymous. This also is one more feature that we access to Vault during the regular hours. A better example of your business hours is to morning to main business hours or weekend weekdays. Fine, but normal weekends it's an irregular business hours. Night midnight 2 to 3 or 12 to 3 p.m. These are the regular business hours it will come to depends upon organization to access to the world from the irregular IP. For example, if you want to connect a vault, if you are giving some different IP which is not stored into the world, which is not stored into the Active Directory. It is available in activity, but it is not there in the world. Like that, it will size these cases also. It will act. And access you access. You access to the privileged accounts in the world. And activity by the dominant wall users. And the activity on the Active Directory risk or Active Directory risk is here. You can see the PTA. Productively monitor the risk related to a constant activity that can be abused by the attackers and sender sends allows to the security to handle these risks before attackers abuse them. And always monitoring that these many accounts are there and will send mail to his own security team. On these many accounts is not managed and on reasons it is there. These type of mails will go and send to these particular team. Now it is handled by these. Now it is handled by cyber. It is a two. And then it was the party PTA and the concert. These two are the third party world. Conjure, which we are concerned, also is important on the concert, which we are using in the cyber for the some of the DevOps tools. DevOps applications is there. For that we want to do the integration, we required a concert, whatever the credentials which we are getting through the CP and CCP. I will take 5 minutes of time. I will explain you CP and CCP because those two are the applications to get the credentials from the world. By using the rest of us, we can get the credentials from the world. For those applications, we need to connect the target applications to it will help to get the credentials from the world. The concept will help us to get that, to retrieve the credentials for the DevOps tools, DevOps applications to connect the jobs, their job ideas. It will change the password after that. These two are the third party. Cyber is purchased from them and it is inbuilt. Prior to the monitor that is related to accounts in the activity that can be abused by the attack and send alerts to that. And unconfined delegations and the delay says these things will be identified and PTA detection is majorly in the world. These are the three logs. Vault logs are an APMEM. But if you see the world suspected credentials that it will identify, these are the PTA detections. Directions means identifications. Suspected credentials that in the world unlocks, but it will not available at an APM, but the credential that it will identify the world and law and unmanage the privileged access. The majorly it will know in the Active Directory and it will available in the world unlocks and unconstrained delegations. It is an Active Directory. It is not available in the world and the service account logged on interactively. It is major in the world and Active Directory and risky SPMN. These are the features. You can go through these documentation, you can come to know. What are the features which we are having, how the PTA will detect, and what are the privileged access to the world during the regular hours. It will only available in the world and access to the privilege account in the world. Exclusive access. These are nothing but exclusive access and a privilege. Access to the world from the regular IP and active dominant you all to use and mention. Access during the regular hours. These are the some of the features. It is only available in APM. Suspected. As is credentials harvesting. These are from the APM. The security events and security monitoring, navigations and alerts on suspicious activities in behavior shows if you see the security. Even here there is one. The best example which has given in this the screen. PTA enables a security team to prioritize and respond the most credential incidents. Basically, I already told you in show them PTA will segregate the 2, 3. One is a low, medium, high. More than 80, it's a high risk. It would be below 80 to 50. To 80 should be a medium, below 50 is the lowest. The security events coming from the PTA are assigned the risk scores based on the severity of the detected and on a median. Based on that, which will allocate the score, and if it is high, it will be taken as a red and we have to open that and we need to take that action. What is exactly issue? And we need to see the session ID based on this section and click on that and open that. Target users and the recordings and see that recordings. What will happen? What exactly this guy has taken based on this? Information. For example, if it is notified as active sessions, it is suspicious activities detected. What it is exactly and suspicious activities means. The most recently retyped activities, user added my current password. Something going to change and he's going to the session was suspicious. Request was initiated and you can see the recommendation and we can see all the details here available. Who has done this? The user is Mike. It will be here. Everything we can reach out to the particular person. The cyber administrator will reach out to him, not an administrator, on the PTA person who is over monitoring the security. PTA team, they will check with the Mike what was happened exactly. All these reasons, they will get the response from the proper response on the on person Mike. Here in this case's example is Mike from the Mike. They will get the proper example and proper explanation, then we'll close it. You can see here visible in the PPA under the security plan. We can review the security events in the PPA according to the timeline and filter the events to focus on the specific groups of the events, every severity, event type and date. Here we can see the date, we can see the timing also, even each and every time in the records. Everything is available, even seconds also. Here you can see the even compact view. There are some compact view. In the right mark, we can click on this. You can. It will get more information here. If you see the example or suspicious activities detected in the privilege station, there are the two occurrences. What happened? When it has happened on all those things, it will be displayed. You can click on this. It will display and we can see the medium. Medium is here. What is the score here? Below 80. The privilege account, the road at the red target line, was used to access the target, although this account is not managed by the past. This was not managed by the past and the password it is stored in the past. It is not matching with the target user. That let me feel this guy is not verifying the password to all the vault in the vault and target mission. You can see the review and security events in the PPA. There all the information is available faster. This is the timing the last time. The event was detected on. The name of the event was detected here. What is the name? Suspicious activities detected in the privilege station on the soon the vendor in the nation has been started. And the initiated remediation when it is happened, all those things, and you can see the session ID. If you click on the session ID, it will open the session and see here there are some. High the score and since severity of the event high, medium, low, that's what I mentioned here. It is on a high and the recommended action to take automatic remediation action that was taken already. The first suspicious activities occurred 2 days ago. It will happen here. It will see these, all the details available in the PTA. It will notify like this that we have to take the action. And if you click on this, I told you right, open this, go to the incident details and you can see all these things. The next one would be the Respond Automatic Remediation and the PSM PTA Integration Session Analysis and Response and Risk-Based Prioritization. Configuring the session analysis, response rules, the session analysis and response lifecycle. Here we have to do these. Some configurations in the security panel respond with automatic remediation, as you can see this here. Automatic response improves your organization's security posture and mitigate the risk. Here we need to do some configurations, configure the automatic response to each security event to contain the risk and stop the suspicious activity. If it is more than 80, always will know the suspicious activity that user. Whoever doing, that account will suspend it. It will suspend and then after they has to raise the ticket and again it will get back to the administrator and they will work on it. That's fine, but it should be suspect. Automatically onboard the account, unmanage the privilege, the cons. Unmanage the privilege, the cons. Yes, we need to activate it and unmanage the privilege, the cons, because based on VR, we will do the bulk uploading and we will do the discovery and onboard on the discovery time it will outboard the few accounts. And few accounts, it is in pending list file that also will try to connect for the target system. Then it will detect it is enough. It is not managed by this on involved. It is account is not stored in that and is also not managed by the CPU. Rotate the credentials over the pass on. Has on suspected a credential step on the reconcile credentials. Suspicious password change. These are the features which we need to enable that in the security configuration that it will automatically get and automatically notify us. It will do the automation. Onboarding the unmanage, the cones rotating, the credentials are pre-consulted credentials. All these things we can contain in progress text by the automatically. And the PSM and PTA integration which we need to do the privilege management. In the privilege management, the UI, you need to do some configurations on PSM and PTA integration. It should be an S. If it is no, there is the PTA integration will not happen. All the recording sessions will not go to the PTA. If it is in S, everything will managed by the PTA. This is available in PSM, the PSM level, which we need to update the configuration. PSM and PTA integration should be honest. Session analysis and response. Connecting the P, T and PSM leverages analytical analytics and capabilities of the PTA, which receives the details of the PSM on the privileged sessions under the user activities, analyze them and assign a risk score to each sessions based on their activities which they will allocate for this score. Here you can see the score on 1990. You can play with video V9 and play both. It is available. You can click on, see that. What is exactly what in the recordings? Auditing now can prioritize and workload based on the risk score. Based on the risk score, they will work with the top priority is the high priority, then next is the medium, the next is a low, but they will do each and every session as the audit. The most of them are getting in, taking care of all these things, recording sensations, recordings, what will happen in the if something happened, we'll reach out to the platform owners and we'll give the clarity on that and get some information from the platform owners and close the sessions. This is what I understood and this is what the procedure is. We'll go in the process. Session analysis on response. Once the P, TA and PSM are integrated, now we can configure the privileged session analysis and response rules to execute the automatic session suspension or termination during the high-risk user activity, thereby reducing this response times on the risk of the damage to the organization. For example, if you are integrating with the PSM is integrating with PTA, then we have to share some rules because if you ratio this score, 80 score, 90 score, then we need to suspend that user. See, here we can see the 90. It's suspended. Access to the password files to express the sensitive information because what he has trying to do is just open the password file and he's trying to update something else. That's the reason it feels this user something is going to do. It may feel and we have to be here. Suspended that user, PTA. Suspended that user here. The previous is an analysis and response, as in a risk score and automatic response to high-risk activities detected during the recorded R sessions. Here the security configuration you can see. We can keep it as a head role and we can give that as per our policy. We have to give risk-based priority, event section 1, and you can see the risk-based priority based on that which we need to work. We have to configure the rules we can add. The new rules are customized. The existing rules for the session, analysis and response. Yes, we can add it through the API command line. Through API, the rest of us, we can do it. The scope of the rule can be granularly applied to the different wall users, accounts and measures. As for the ABAC, it will follow like that only in the event of the high-risk activity. The PTA can also be configured to determine it as suspended session. Whenever something happened here, you can see that your session has been suspended because please contact your system administrator because if something happened, it's you're trying to get something. If you don't have a permission, but you are forcefully trying to do something, it will automatically suspend your is. In the event of high-risk activity, the PTA can also be configured to terminate or suspend the session. Cyber equipment solve is that each organization study the predefined set of rules for the suspicious session activity, then modify and add the rules according to their needs as per the requirement of the organization. And while doing the PTA, you can get the documentation from within the organization, what needs to be done and what rules needs to be set. As per the internal organization policy, always remember guys, if you go and join any organization, for example, given the interview and he's selected for the audit team, is supposed to monitor all these things. Even though forget about you, even though you have an experience, whatever it is, but just ask them, I need documentation, what rules I need to set up here, on what exactly I need to maintain. You can get the documentation from the past project. Based on that, we can set up the policies and you can modify the rules in the PTA configuring the rules. We have to configure these rules while doing the configuration rules here. For example, one organization is follow 90. You can keep it as a 80. This is the rule which we need to set up. Here we have to set up like the terminates or spend whatever you want. You can do it. But this before amending this, mostly this will do by the L3. This will take care by the L3, will not do L1 and L2 and architect level, it will do something happen. Architect is the responsible to give the answer to the application thing. L1 and L2 is not responsible for that. Your managers and above they are the responsible to give the answer, proper explanation to them. What exactly it happens that you can, while doing these configurations, while doing the onboarding rules, you can get the proper information from your L3s and get into update it. Understand, the rules are defined by what are the category. Universal key stores. You can SI universal key stores, CPS, QL and Windows Little. These are the categories which we need to select. One thing and pattern we have to give the password. These are the active user details such as the home directory, user ID something, you can give the pattern password and something the pattern, a regular expression to be monitored and session response. You can give the weather. What is the score? For example, it is a score is 90 and 80. You can keep it as 80. My previous organization was 80. Now it is keeping. Just this is an example. It will change. Guys, as far as the policy, it will change. As far as the company's policy, it will change. There is no recessions on the cyber. A case will not recommend anything here. You can decide whatever your policy as for your company. Regular expression to be monitored and session response suspended. Terminated based on the score. If it is 80, you can. It will suspend after more than 80 score. Once you receive 80 plus, it will suspend the scope. This rule will apply to about all. But one wall to user all the accounts on all the measures. The threat score is 1, 200, to whom or what the rule will apply. Once you update all these things and click on the save, that it will automatically apply for the next session analysis and the response cycle. Here you can see this 6-40, 6-40, 90. These are the rules which we have already defined at the manual response and risk review and defined. The risk security team will take an analytics and alerts automatic responses. But for sure PTA team, I'm sorry, separate team will not work on this and some other auditing will work on this. Always things, but I don't know. But smaller organizations, definitely they has to take care of all these things. But some big organizations, they have a separate teams. In this essence, we will review the recorded demos of the threat detection and automatic response demos Windows and AWS. You can see this and the privilege that detection and automatic response demo Windows you can see here. The detect and respond to the privilege risk in the cloud. It helps to others the challenge of monitoring the privileged cloud users and detecting and alerting on responding to the high-risk privilege accesses. The PTA can be now. Use it to improve the efficiency of the cloud security teams. See, here you can see where it is. These are the following capabilities are supported for AWS: detect unmanaged access keys in the AWS. We always follow the keys. It was always following the keys. That once we get those two information, then we can get the information from the AWS console. That's the reason detected unmanaged access keys. Here in the AWS, they will say keys. Keys is nothing but passwords. We have a direct integration with the AWS for the fabric and for the to maintain the AWS keys. That is, a secret manager is there in the AWS. Secret manager is responsible to managing all the passwords. We want to keep these passwords into the fabrics. Yes, we can do it. There is a one secret hub. We have to do the integration of the secret hub between the cyber and secret of. Secret of is the responsible to mediate between the cyber and AWS. Detect and compromise privilege. I am accounts and detect from an easy to account. She said two accounts which we are using currently. These are the easy to account. Is the accounts of the web console. Once you open the console and clicking on the easy to is nothing but VMS. The polling capabilities are supported for the Azure. Azure detect the unmanageable access and detect suspected credential. That these are the features it is helping to the Azure. These are the two major features, Azure and the PT. I can say it will help for both. It will help for not only both. It is cloud and self-hosted and privileged cloud also. Now you guys are learning the self-hosted and privileged cloud also. There is much difference. Privileged cloud. If anyone asked, what is the difference between self-hosted and privileged cloud? Privileged cloud. I think you may get the questions in the interview. What is privileged? What is the difference between self-hosted and privileged cloud? You can simply say privileged cloud is managing by the source basis role. Source-based service software as a service it would managing by the complex ABRAC. But self-hosted, we need to manage. Here we can create a different servers for each component, but in that it will create one component, one connector component. We have to manage all the servers in the connector component. All the servers in that connector component. That's it. That is the PTA, guys. How to do the installation? We can do installation PTA from the disk, same disk image, or install PTA Azure software, whatever you want. You can do it. You need to copy this PTA from the marketplace. This topic, how to import the disk image, and for one that relevant procedure, your type as a software. As for your convenient, you want to download this after our image, you can do it. But we have to follow this software for successful PTA installation. As a software perform that, these procedures use the following guidelines. No internet access is required. And PTA must be the only application installed on the mission, and on the completion of the PTA, installation and reboot of the mission is required. What happened? All prerequisites which we need to follow here is required. Some of the data, because it is all taking the audit file side. It is required 16 GB RAM and 8 core CPU and 5 GB hard disk storage. Think provision and one network card like this. These are the things which it is required, and this is available in prerequisites. It is automatically taken. Installing the PTA application, use the following procedure. Install that. To install the PTA application, this is the one steps. PTA installer. JPipe on JIP onto plug on a PTA mission as a user and enter the password which you entered during the operating system installation, and then you can start doing the installation. These are the commands. Verify. The installation can be executed on the following command and start doing the installation. Following is the example. These are the steps I gave you. It's very simple. Nothing need to do here. Just start doing the installation and have to give these commands, and as per these instructions, you can go and do the installation. That's it. These are the example. Percent. You may not go and do the installation for the PTA. Remaining things. Maybe you have a chance. You can get the chance to install the other components of the fabric. That should be then. If you want to do the modify the for PS and PTA server host name, we can modify the default PSM server host name and either before or after installation to modify the host name. The following reasons and PTA server mission. Run the following command update. You can go and update on this and change the name. Apply the name. Run the following reset restart the system. Hosted name service. You can take this and update it. This is the last topic. It will take some time, but I think I may cover tomorrow also for this. But the troubleshooting. This is the most important. How to do the troubleshooting. If something happened. For example, if I get a while doing the CPM, what needs to be do under service troubleshooting issues which we need to do. We have to follow this by the end of this session. You will be able to describe the basic flow of basic flow for the troubleshooting issues in the cyber event. The troubleshooting flow here, how to do. This is the PSMP. PSM for the SS servers used to call in the market used to call PSMP. PSMP is nothing but PSM for the SSS service. It is mainly useful for only Linux users. It is specially designed and it is maintaining the security to maintain the security for the Linux accounts to connect the target missions. There is some specifications are there for these accounts. That's the reason we have specially designed for the component, and it is allowing only for the whoever connecting through SH. The average enterprise manages the hundreds of the Linux servers and network devices. Basically, Linux and Linux systems are usually critical and are not centrally managed. Unix administrator, understandably, will be reluctant to change their existing workflows and tools to accommodate a new security layers. They want to create some separate environment, and that's the reason we will integrate with PSMP. The goal should be to integrate this seamlessly with the adjusting business processes using the PSM for the SSS servers. Here the flow completely PSM for the SS servers. The overview, make a note. It's possible. You have a time, you can make a note. Why I'm asking you to note it? Because once you know done first step, what needs to be open and how it will connect. Because the same way, how the flow of the PSM, the same way this will apply, only just it will connect to SSH. That's it. And then next step would be the cPage credentials from the world. It will connect to the target, connect to the Linux servers directly. Then, once you close the sessions, recordings will be stored into all. It will forward to the PTA, the same procedure, but just remember always this flow. The first step is to open the SSH connection session to the PSM for the services. The next step would be the second. The PSM for SH servers will then fetch the credentials from the world. How it will fetch the credential by using the PVView gateway user. PVView gateway user is responsible to fetch the credentials for the PSM. Once you get that credential, it will automatically, by using that credential, it will automatically connect to the PSM. Through PSM, it will connect to the target server. That is called Linux servers. The PSFirm for the SSH servers will then establish an SSH session to the target system using the privileged session account credentials. The next one is that session recording is uploaded to the world unlocks forward to the same. If you understand this concept, then PSM is fine. Nothing just straight away. You can do it like this. This is the procedure, how it will work. The PSMP will work the same way. How PSSM is working the same way PSMP will work. Only the difference it will connect through the SSH. That's it. See here you can see connecting via PSM for the SSH servers. Here this is we want to do the PUTI configuration. We have to do some PTI configuration and give the IP address here. See here, you can see username at the red root. These are the some IP address or something you can give the host name here. Host name, just IP address. You can give you update here on the port. Always remember, guys, SH port is the 22. For the Linux administration, we have to open to the PUTI configuration by default in this will. It will be available in the organization if we don't have the PUTI. You can raise the request on the CAN. They will network team or some other installation team. They will do it or you can do. It is normally that is free of cost nothing. Just do the PUTI configuration here. From the PUTI you have to the remote and via PSMP you can give this. The server sessions. We can give the update here. See here the connecting here username and privileged account address and PSM server address here. First one is the username. Next one is the privileged account. What is the account here? Root account. What is the privileged account address here? Hit this PSM server address. We need to provide these things, which we need to provide here. And you can see this session is being recorded now once you connect that. PSS proxy is a proxy PSM for the SS servers auditing. Just like with PSM, how the PSM will work, the same way it will work for the Linux users. Nothing will change here. The members of the auditors group can view the PSM for SH server video and text-based recordings. Same. This way they can able to view here the play button, pass forward and back forward. Everything is available we can view. Video and audio recordings. Features. There are some features are there. Protocol supports S8 and SH. And Link SCP. These are the protocols which they are supporting. And PSSO the privilege. Single sign-on PSSO. It will connect to the sign-on. Single sign-on secure connect and Active Directory bridge. And access control. PSM for SR service manage accesses to the privileged accounts at centralized point and facilitate a control point to initiate the privileged sessions. And for this also we have to configure all the permissions through safe only. In the safe level, we have to provide you some permissions. How we are giving the normal users the same way, we need to give the permissions for this also. Session recording. Same way how the normal PSM will start section recording. Same way it will applicable for the PSMP, also PS for the SRSR service record, all the activities that occurs in the privileged sections in a compact format, and recordings are stored in the protected in the wall server and accessible to the author, ID users. There is nothing difference between the PSM and PSM. The only difference is here. This will connect Linux users, only Linux users. The PSM will connect Linux users and Windows both, but this only specified Linux users. These are the prerequisite, it's the same. Whatever we required for the enough, what you call for the PSM. But here the small change in the concurrent services in the PSM. Basically it is maximum is 100, but here greater than 200. 1 to 200 is may range, but large it should be greater than 200. We can able to open 200 concurrent sessions. This will remain always. This will get from this data will get it if you want to require. You can get it from the community portal, cyber community portal. You can get all these data. That installation the same way. What we are doing, the copy, the PSM's SSR software, the server, this is done for you in the lab. This is in the Cyber Club. This is the Cyber app is providing some lab. Once you get the access into the partner portal, the create administrative user same way and edit the world at ANI file. Create the credential for the built-in administrator users. Edit the PSMP form file. This is the configuration file and install the PSM for the SS software. Nothing. Just create the administrative users here the same way. Or if you want to give the same administrator user be for this Linux users which we are creating for the load user iSolar. For example, root user is an administrator. You have to create one users and edit the world data NNI file and create the credential file. But the building administrator user purpose and edit the PSMP form that file. That is nothing but configuration file. Install the PSM for the SS software. Creating an administrator user. Here you can see the user at proxy, MNG or something, whatever you want. You can update here like this. There is nothing. Specifications, only one specification. This is only connecting through the SES, that's it remaining. All are same. Only the specification it is. What is the difference between? PSM will connect both, but this will connect only Linux users. It will support only for the Linux users PSMP. Administrative users can connect to the PSM service to perform the management tasks without being forwarded to the target mission. You can do it in addition to the built-in the root users. The system can connect to the PSM for the SS service. Here you can see the proxy management. Here we are creating that mission to users. Whenever you are creating some users, it will automatically identify. These are better example. If you are creating some administrator users, we are adding the administrator group to the particular users. Those users can get the full rights right once we add those users into the administrative group in the world. Those can get full rights. The same way here we can get it complete. Whoever adding the agent administrator users, those also get that. Those also get to connect the PSM for the service. Additional users that are specified in the PSMP maintenance users parameter in the SSHAT configuration file. Here the proxy manager and number you can give like that. Here you can say, I did the world and NFL for the connecting to the PSM server and wall server here tender 0.1. I think the world IP others for this lab for that, but port always should be 1858 it will. World will not allow any other port. World will allow only one port, that is 1858, always remember. Through all, it will allow only one port through communication. All will happen through this port. Only all the communication will happen through this port. On. That is the one specification for the world. If anyone is asked what is the internal port to communicate for the components, you can say 1858. There is no association here, just normal specification. How we are doing for the reason, the same way we need to do for this also. The only thing is, because this is the line is admin line is in moment, we have to adapt. That's it. Basically, most of the people will adapt Windows most. Familiar with Windows, but few of them is familiar with Linux. We are familiar with Linux. They are. It is very easy for them. They just simply this create file and update this list. In Windows, you can open the file and update it. But Linux, we need to do everything in the Linux environment. We need to give the coding like this. The level of storage we have to update it. If you are familiar with the Linux, it is very easy, nothing. There is no specifications on this. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.